Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to be looking at the patch notes that was released today for the test server. So basically going through them, I've only just read them myself, so I mean, not really sure what it's like at the moment. Let's have a quick look, shall we? So improvements. Made various improvements to journals. Created drop weights and fame amounts for many resources involved in crafting journals. Previously, everything wasn't the first resource on the list and had a very chance of dropping and giving out slightly too much fame. I believe this is journals in terms of like what you give the like the labourers. Oh, it is the labourers. Okay. Added leather possible to possible rewards from tinker journals. Didn't know that wasn't a thing. Made furniture, including repair stations, count towards tinker journals. Tinker being like a tinker. I imagine that's like workbench. Yeah, repair stations. Like, okay. I don't see anyone using that anyway. Reduced fame payout for trophy journals. Previously, they were effectively the fastest way to level your labourer, which is silly and would lead to a huge surplus of trophies. Yeah, so you should get like trophies. You should get because you want trophies, not to fast level your labourers. So I understand the reasoning behind that one. They don't really want it to just be used as a way to level up, and there's going to be loads of trophies. People who want to make money selling the trophies or putting the trophies in their house should be using the trophy journals. Other than that, you use the other ones. Fame pounds from journals are now always rounded up, which increases payout by 1 in a couple of cases. That's irrelevant. All T3 weapons now count towards crafting journals. Okay, so pretty nice change. T3 materials to any Black Zone guild, you're not going to be using them anyway because T3 is obviously very are hard to get. Not hard to get, but just a pain to get. So more of a like royal guild change. Clarified the craft skin knife destiny board step to say that you need to do it at the workbench to try and smooth new player understanding. Purely a tutorial, a 30-second like change. It's not going to make a difference once you know what you're doing, but still a nice change that they're trying to make it a little bit easier for people. It's an interesting one. So, increased the max sell price for real estates to 100 million silver. Now, the reason they've done this is that the whole situation with Iron Bank, basically they bought it for just a ludicrous amount of money. 100 million silver is still a lot of money, but you can probably afford it if you've got a very, very good economy, things like that. It stops gold sellers being able to put it just ridiculously high out of anyone's reach. So I think that's purely a reason for that. 100 million silver is probably still a little bit too high. Put it down to like 20 million. No plot needs to sell for more than 20 million. Gathering now improves reputation 5 times faster than before. This is actually really good. It gives gathering, like PvPers can go and PvP, and then as they're gathering up to refund a couple of sets, they can be losing rep. They're going to be killing mobs. Like leather gatherers are going to be in a great position right now because they're going to kill the mobs, lose the rep, and then skin them and get the rep drop as well. So pretty cool change that they're going to be losing rep or gaining rep, so to speak, a lot faster through gathering, which has been cool. First change, reduced maximum GVG defender bonus from 50% to 30%. Now, 50% at 5 tiers advantage at 3 losses or on your third attempt. Terrible idea. 5 tiers, you are never going to overcome that. The worst players in the world with a 5-tier advantage are still going to be able to put up a damn good fight. Like if you have any semi-decent team, which in fairness, if you own a city plot, you're a decent team. 50% advantage, a 5-tier advantage, yeah, it's just not going to happen. But 30 in my opinion is still too much. Like I feel like a 3-tier advantage. If I was doing Hellgates right now, even if we were a very, very good team, I couldn't fight a T7 team in T4. Like, I wouldn't do that. Even if it's a bad team, you just wouldn't be able to do that. We roll over teams in T4. Like, you might be able to put up a bit more of a fight than the 50%, but 30% I still feel is too high. Put it down to like maybe, I don't know, 17, 18%. I still think like 20 plus is too high. 15 maybe a little bit too low. It's only a tier and a half advantage. That's still a huge advantage, but I don't know. Like I still think city plots are going to be really hard to take, almost impossible. But maybe people are going to be able to start taking them. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days, definitely, is to see. Albion World News next week could be very interesting, to say that. You can always assist, e.g. heal, ally characters in the Outlands, regardless of PvP flagging status. This is a change directly related to like the dreaded system that's come in. People with under 20k or negative 20k rep are now always flagged. And what was happening, or were supposed to be always flagged, it actually got cancelled out because the problem was they weren't able to get healed without people flagging. So, bit of a bad change, but now you can always assist them regardless of PvP in the black zone, which makes sense because you're always flagged in the black zone anyway. Change the loading screen for Islands and Carleon, whatever, no one cares about that. Reworked one of the bosses, no, don't really care about that. Royal Sigil transmutation cost reduced from 5 to 2. This is an amazing change, Jesus. The cost that it would make to make a tier 8 royal item was equivalent to like Hell Artifact level for tier 8. Bear in mind you only get the artifacts of a tier 1 artifact anyway, the rune artifacts. The fact that it was so expensive and you can only get 1 T6 sigil a day is just ridiculous. The fact this is being changed to 2, amazing change. Honestly, I just want to start seeing expeditions come in for T7 and T8, make them difficult, make them hard, whatever, but ultimately I still think that you could really do some different things with that and reward the sigils for it. Altered mechanics for invulnerability bubble acquired when entering a new area. So this is a weird one. This has been something they've really had to try and mess around with because they're not happy with how it's been. It's been changed in quite a different number of patches. They haven't really landed on anything they like at the moment, so let's see what the changes are. It's no longer automatically removed when moving into a different area. So if you go into a zone and then run back into the one you came from, it no longer automatically removes bubble. Makes sense, it's a good change. It's still removed after a certain amount of time, which is cool. And is still removed by moving a certain distance away from your entry point. So you can't just use that, something like a direwolf on go through, get a bubble, and like run half a zone away with the bubble. But okay, I mean, honestly, bubbles are a bit of a weird one. I don't like gate camping, but honestly, if you're going to do it, then you have to be ready. A 10-second bubble is more than enough for most people, if you're doing stuff smart anyway. Crafting times of all equipment items have been reduced a lot. This is especially noticeable on higher tiers and enchanted items. This is a great change. Why? Because you don't need a 5-minute craft on a T7.2 item. Just isn't a thing that you need. I made 100 T7 cows at one point. Sorry, was it? No, it might have been T6 actually. I made a load of cows. Let's just say that. And I had enough time to go for a shower and make some food and come back and they just finished. Literally, they just finished. And then I had to study them as well. So it's just an unnecessary time sink for no real reason. So I'm glad they've changed that. Bean salad buff duration changed from 5 minutes to 2 minutes. I don't really like that. Just, it doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes, honestly, but maybe you need to start taking a couple of salads when you craft in higher items, but let's see what the change is like on the crafting times. Maybe you don't need it anymore. Change the login, whatever. Adjusted rewards from PvE chests. Loot drop rate has been increased by around 10 times. Fragment drop rate has been decreased by around 5 times, and silver drop rate stays the same. So they're wanting loot to drop more than like fragments, and obviously still silver's just going to be as it is. So PvE chests definitely going to be something to look out for. If you see them, maybe it's not so worth just skipping over them. It might just be worth jumping off your mount and actually taking them every time. Interesting change, making them a little bit more prevalent in when people see them. Now this next change is huge. Increases black market drop rates by around 2 times. Now black market drops, there's a black market drop on every single Hellgate boss, last boss, like the main boss. The fact that that's doubled is going to be huge. So this means that there's more items going out of the black market. It's going to generate more items wanting to go in. The prices are going to be higher. Black market's just going to become a whole lot more viable, even more so than it already is. I had 7.1 mage boots drop for me just before I actually logged off the game. That's almost 200k that I made just because they actually were excellent mage boots as well. Like, that's awesome. That's a really cool thing. And black market's working really well, making crafters a lot of money. Gatherers are using it. People that are flipping the auction house are making fortunes off it. So I like the fact that it's making it even more prevalent by increasing the drop rates. Reduce the increased spawn rates. Reduce the increased. Yep. Spawn rates of T4 resources somewhat. They're still higher than baseline. So I feel like this is going to stay permanent now. Obviously, we got that increase in drop rate in spawns on the T4. It was absolutely insane, and they've reduced it a little bit, but haven't mentioned anything because it wasn't actually a permanent buff. It was a temporary buff. Looks like they're going to try and keep it a little bit lower than what it was, but still higher than what it started as. So that's pretty cool. Moving down here, I don't think there's any major fixes. Fixed another issue with Destiny board auto tracking everything in certain situations. Thank God, because I hate having to untrack everything. Just having a look now, see if there's anything. It doesn't look like there's many real changes. Stags, Cougars, Mammoths now count towards a rare breeder node on the Destiny board. That's pretty cool. Stags might be something that you just want to farm up now just to get your rare breeder up. Displacement immunity now grants immunity to the knockback of Power Geyser. No one really uses displacement immunity, but I mean it's a potential change, a potential thing there when it's working. So this is an interesting one. I've played with Rejuvenating Mushroom. I don't actually know what it means by that. It's not being healed due to the target limit. Oh, okay, so you can only heal 5 people with a mushroom now. It's going to show you when that's the case and you can't heal anyone else. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so these patches overall, no real major changes, no balance changes on weapons. We certainly have a couple of weapons right now that can do with tweaks. I'm not saying nerfs, I'm not saying buffs. I'm just saying tweaks. They just need to be slightly changed. Nothing like that now. The main thing is obviously the defender bonus. I still think it's too much. I'm going to be doing a video in the next couple of days actually about ideas that people have spoke to me about how they could change city fights to just be different and better potentially. So stay tuned for that. If you've liked the video, I always do a patch notes video. I'll be doing updates on if these patch notes changes drastically. But other than this, guys, that's me for today. There's going to be another video later on, hopefully on Dauntless actually, so that could be quite fun. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and catch you later. Goodbye, guys.